do you think people underestimate the power of their own mind and their own thoughts?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Well, if you think about this, I was saying this morning actually, we're born with unlimited potential. But that thought scares the shit out of people. Unlimited potential, holy shit, what can I achieve then? And when people say dream big, right, here's where I'm going to be saying everything against what the gurus say. Dream big, follow your dream, all this shit up here, right? Yeah. Great, I've got nothing against it. But for people who are struggling on the bottom, that's not the shit they need to hear. They need to hear, how do I just take one step forward?
The little things.
Not dream this whole fucking big dream big, don't give up on your dreams, this kind of thing. They don't need to hear that, because we've heard all that bullshit before. It actually sometimes makes us feel worse. Like when we look on Facebook and we see the highlight reel, we see everything that's going right in people's lives, not very much of the truth that's going right. So what was your question again? I totally went off.
Do people underestimate?
Yes, that's right. Do people underestimate? That's right. Yeah. So yes, absolutely. Because what that unlimited power, if you will, unlimited potential gives people is possibility. Yeah. Possibility to open doors, possibility for new confidence, possibility to push out the comfort zone, etc. That possibility is terrifying to somebody who is very trapped.
Scares, yeah.
Really scary, right? Massively scary. So yes, the potential is there, but it's scary. I think for most people, if you imagine like just a little drawing of a stick man in a bubble, right? And this represents the comfort zone, your comfort zone, right? And say that's the stick man, this microphone, right? And this is the goal or the dream or the intention or whatever it is that they want, right? And it's quite far away. So everybody tells you to jump out of this bubble and get it. Go out of your comfort zone, which is good advice. But that's fucking terrifying. So rather than jump out of the bubble, expand the bubble a little bit bigger to make it easier to get towards it. Does that make sense? So rather than jumping out of the comfort zone, take, right, what little step can I take that I'm still kind of comfortable with, but will help me move forward? So eventually this bubble will grow wide enough until it will actually get that goal.
You continue to grow as a person as that bubble grows.
Exactly. So it's not about literally pushing or forcing somebody into doing something so terrifying. It's that growing of comfort zone, which happens when you start taking little steps, not big steps. So in answer to your question, yes, it's very, people do underestimate that massively. But for the right reasons, because a lot of the time they're looking at external what's going on and thinking, I could never get there, so why should I fucking bother? Why should I start?
People's problem, definitely.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I would say so, yeah.
Cool.
So, going back to the comfort zone stuff, the idea of pushing outside the comfort zone, that resistance that people feel to think, like that uncomfortable feeling of doing something new and scary. The idea that thoughts and emotions are addicting, right? And that when someone's on a set course, like that's how they've always thought, so they assume that's how it is.
Yes.
How does that play into overthinking? Like, how do you unattach from that thought pattern? How do you begin to change your mindset? Like, what is the first step that you would tell somebody if someone said, "Look, my mind's confused. I'm all over the place. How do I just begin to calm down?"
Okay, so it's more or less like, I think what you're saying is when people think, is this as good as it's going to get? Yeah. Okay. So again, there's so many different ways to answer this, and it depends on the person. One size fits one person. But if somebody's really overwhelmed, it's like, what's the very first step to take? Always start with the truth. Always start with what's going on right now. But I think it's not all about having the answers. It's about asking the right questions, asking a better set of questions. Okay. So what about the question of, right, what's your outcome? Rather than what do you want? What's your outcome? Like, well, I want to feel better, right? Well, what does that mean? How do you want to feel better? Physically, what do you want to look like, feel like? What do you want with your mindset? What do you want with your lifestyle? What's the outcome? Get people to think a little bit on a deeper level, which will, and get them to sort of state why it's important. Okay. So let's just role play this for a second. You're an overwhelmed person, and you ask me, what do I need to do?
It's like, help me, Luke. Help me.
Right, okay, so I'd say, right, okay, well, what's your outcome? What exactly do you want?
I want to know, I just want to feel good. In most of my life, just want to feel good. I want to eliminate most pain, and I just want to be in control. I want to feel more in control.
In control.
In control.
Right. Why do you feel you're out of control?
Feel like nothing I do works. Like, I feel like all my thoughts are against me, like almost as if the world's against me.
Yeah. Okay. Is that true?
A little bit. A little bit true.
Is the world really against you?
The world's not against me, but that's how it feels sometimes. It feels like the world, sometimes you get into that point where you do feel like the world is against you. Like nothing you do ever goes right, no thought is ever good.
Very true.
You just want to go,
Very true. Very right. But then the follow-up question I would ask is, do you think the truer statement, rather than I feel like the world's against me, could be I feel like I'm against myself?
Yeah.
Would that be more true?
Yeah.
Right,
yeah,
okay. So that can accept responsibility and ownership for that thought, rather than sending it externally and blaming, because that's what we tend to do. The world's against me. We play the victim, right? Yeah. That's what tends to happen when we feel at a low point. It's like, this has happened to me, that's happened to me, that person didn't react that way, I was abused, I was assaulted, whatever it was. We play the victim, which never allows us to escape this mentality. But whereas if we can start to say, well, hang on, maybe it's not the thing that's happening now which is causing me pain, it's the thought behind it, it's the thought process, the feelings that I'm getting based upon a memory or an influence or whatever. So that is the frightening thing. The thoughts behind it, the feelings that I'm getting from the memory, the influence or whatever. So is it true that the world is against you, or is your own mind against itself?
Yeah, it's the mind, isn't it?
Right, okay, yeah. So that accepts responsibility. Now we've got responsibility, we need to take ownership for that.
Yeah.
Right, where do I need to go from here? That's one tiny step, right? That's ownership of those thoughts. You can't help the thoughts, right? The thoughts will come all the time, like just go. But you can't help whether you believe them or not. Like, because a lot of the time the reason why we overthink and are anxious and depressed and scared a lot of the times because we just believe this bullshit. And if you've ever had this experience where you've had a load of anxiety towards something, the event or whatever's happened, or it's gone over, and you look back and you think, God, I was worried about nothing, or I was worried about so little.
Every single time.
Yeah, exactly, because you believe the thoughts. So first it's taking ownership of the thoughts. Yeah. Like, I'm in control here. I feel out of control, but there's nobody who can fix us. I'm not broken. I'm not unfixable. I'm just a little bit weird. I've got a little bit of a fucked up mind. Yeah, that's what we've got to admit. Like, take ownership of it. Right, okay. And then you take a step forward. Okay, so there's like so many different systems and things that work, but it's always about starting at the start.
Yeah.
Take ownership of it. Understand that the language that you use is very important as well. How you talk to yourself, I'm useless, I'm stupid, I shouldn't have done that, I'm a waste of space, all these things that we sometimes tell ourselves, right? Again, we've got to question those thoughts. Are they really true? Yeah, reframe it, basically. It's like, I am useless. Am I useless? Am I useless? Try and think of ways why you are useless. So
you should almost question it, like not accept it, but question it at the same time. Like, is this true? Like, I said to Luke on the way over here that we were like, can we actually get something good out of this? Because we were quite scared to film the video. Like that, we were overthinking. Like, are these questions good enough? Is this going to be, good enough to put out, that kind of thing? And it was. We didn't feel good enough. That was the thought that was in my head, and it was in yours.
This is well good enough.
Yeah, it's well good enough. Yeah,
well good enough. Exactly.
But it's that once you do it, it's fine.
Yes,
it's that initial thought process that you go through. So it's like on the way over here, I was like, I don't know if we're good enough. Is my shit good enough? Like, no one. Like, is anyone going to watch this? Like, I know people are going to watch it. Yeah. Now I know that people are going to watch it.
Yeah.
But then it was like, is it good enough? Is it good enough? Is it going to be good enough? It was like that overthinking, worry and panic, and it makes you feel a bit sick.
The tendency that you have that thought usually is because you want it to be perfect.
Yeah.
That's why. Because it'll always be good enough.
Yeah.
It'll never be perfect. And because it doesn't line up with your expectation of what it should be or shouldn't be in your head, then it'll cause you pain. And expectation is a brutal thing when we expect too much. So sometimes we need to just lower our expectations a bit rather than have this massively high tolerance, this massively, well, it should be this way, it's got to be at this bar, and if it's not, I'm going to be fucking so disappointed and I'm going to worry myself sick and sabotage. Well, no. Yes, hold your standards high, strive high, but if you don't hit it, you actually still got much further than doing nothing at all.
The enemy of the best is the good, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The will is only bad relative to some perfection that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Essentially. It's like we're all slight perfectionists in our own way.
Yeah.
And we have a fear that nothing's ever going to go perfect. I don't think when you realize that perfection doesn't exist, things become a lot easier because good enough becomes good enough.
Yeah.
And
good enough equals
eliminates all that fear. It's like when you play a gig, it's good. It's good enough. Perfect doesn't exist. Like perfect.
It's never perfect.
No, perfect for you is like a full room of people, but even then you'd be like, I could fit more people in here. There's always another step to it.
The wrong note.
I played the wrong like fuck. I played the wrong note. There's always another step to it that you could add to it, and it's never going to be perfect. There's never this completion.